Family, what's up? What's up? Man, let me give you guys a little bit to come on in here. Man, oh man, oh man. Get started and all the planes want to start flying. You know what I mean? It was quiet on the set a minute ago except for the birds. But it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and get started, family. Just give you guys just a minute to come on in. I don't know if you guys can see the water right here, but back out here at the pond. Man, I love being out here. I'm going to have to come out here and try fishing one day, just for the heck of it. So. What's up, babe? What's up, family? Man, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Hey, I was talking to my queen last night, and she's from Dominican Republic. And well, back up. First and foremost, man, in honor of my mother-in-law, let me put this down real quick. In honor of my mother-in-law, man, may God bless each and every one of you that come on this live. Man, may He continue to manifest Himself to you. You know, to all you that catch this video on YouTube later, man, may you receive the same blessings. May God bless each and every one of you. That being said, man, I was talking to my queen last night, and she's from Dominican Republic, and she keeps up with a lot of stuff that's going on out there. And she was telling me about some of the stuff that's going on out there as far as people going out there for surgeries and different plastic surgeries and things of that nature. And she's asking me to talk about that. And it's interesting because I want to have a conversation anyways on self-love versus self-hate. Self-love versus self-hate. And it's interesting because, you know what? I was writing an article this morning for about my dad. And it just had me spinning, had my mind going about my father. You know what I mean? And my father's done a lot of things in his life. He's passed away now, almost 4 years ago. And he's done a lot of things in his life that, man, you know, most people would think would be like crazy, you know what I mean? And so, but when I look at his life, it's like, man, this guy, he had this image of just being so thugged out, you know, just so gangster, you know what I mean? Just so hood, you know what I mean? He was BGF, Black Guerrilla Family. It's like the Black Mafia. He was like doing all kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Stay with me. He was wearing $5,000 pinky rings, you know what I mean? Had a Mercedes-Benz limited edition, you know what I mean? Big fur coats, just doing the most. Rolex watches, Rolex pinky rings, just doing all of that, right? When you really look at him, he really didn't love himself. You know what I mean? Stay with me. He had this image of just being just the man, you know what I mean? The man, you know? But when you really got to know him, when you really broke it down, when you really got up under all of that stuff, when you got up under the watch and the rings and the necklaces and the coats and the leather and just all, when you took all that stuff off, you took off the Mercedes, took all that stuff away, he was really kind of shallow. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to my father. And what I mean by shallow, he really didn't love himself. He really didn't value himself. You know what I mean? He really had a lot of self-hatred. You know, that wasn't the image that he portrayed to the world. But man, when you really got to know him and you really look at his life, it's like, man, this guy really don't like himself, you know? And man, to each their own, you know what I mean? I'm not here to judge my father in any way, shape, or form. And so as I was looking at my life, it's like, dang, so many of we get our identities from our parents. We get our identities from those around us, our siblings, our aunties, our uncles, our cousins, our family members. And so we learn to value ourselves. We learn to love ourselves. We learn to hate ourselves, you know, at that early stage. And so where do you get that self-love from? Where do you get that self-hatred from? You know what I mean? And so many times we have this misconception of what self-love is. You know, so many of us, because, you know, to say that you hate yourself, that's kind of twisted. You know what I mean? But the reality is the great majority of us don't really love ourselves. The great majority of us do not love ourselves. And that's why we need other people to love us, because we don't know how to love ourselves. So many of us, man, we need relationships, and we jump in relationships after relationships after relationships because we're looking for love, because we don't know how to love ourselves, and because we don't love ourselves. So the reality, if you really don't love yourself, you hate yourself. You know what I mean? There's something about yourself that you don't accept. There's something about you that you don't embrace. There's something about you that you don't like. And so when you break it all down, man, it's crazy because we do so many different things to feel good about ourselves. And to each their own, you know what I mean? I remember when I first started bodybuilding, you know what I mean? I messed up my knee playing football. And the doctors told me I had to be off my leg for a while. And again, I'm hard-headed. You can't tell me nothing. I'm going to do what I want to do. Man, I had arthroscopic surgery. They're scraping some stuff out, fixing some stuff. Man, 2 weeks later, I'm out there running, trying to get back in shape. I'm going to the gym. I'm on my own routine. You know what I mean? Again, just hard-headed. You know what I mean? But my image was, man, I got to get in shape. I got to look good. You know what I mean? Because that's where my self-esteem came from. That's where my self-worth came from, was my appearance. Because, man, I got all these affirmations. I got all these praise from all these other dudes and from all these women. And, man, dude, man, Broadway, man, you look good. Man, Broadway, you yoked. Man, Broadway, dude. Man, that filled my ego. That filled my head. That made me feel good about me. Even though on the inside, I really didn't like me. Even though on the inside, I really didn't care about me. You know what I mean? I said I did. And man, I walked around, I ate good. Man, I took care of my body. Man, I had less than 8% body fat. I was it, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I was doing stupid stuff. At the same time, I'm sleeping with all these different women. All these women. Women, I didn't even know their names, some of them, you know what I mean? And a lot of them never knew my name, you know what I mean? And it's like, how that's freaking psychotic when you really think about, man, look at all the stuff that could have happened. Look at all the diseases that could have been given. Look at all just everything, the STDs, everything that I could have received from that, you know what I mean? I didn't love myself. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. I didn't love myself. And so I was looking for love from all these women because I sexualized love. Because to me, sex was love. And so if I'm making all these women feel good and these women are hyping me up and man, bro, you did, man, they loving me. You know what I mean? All these dudes tell me I'm the great. All these dudes tell me this and that. Man, these people love me. These people care about me. And these people didn't really give a crap about me. You know what I mean? For the most part, because they didn't even know me. They just knew I was out there slamming beer and drinking alcohol, and I could hold my own alcohol. You know what I mean? I'm out there playing bones and spades and bid whiz and pinochle, throwing dice, doing all this stupid stuff. And man, I'm the life of the party. You know what I mean? And so, man, they love that aspect of me because I was crazy. I was twisted. You know what I mean? Stay with me. We're talking about self-love versus self-hate. The image that I put out was that, man, I'm the shit. The image that I put out was, man, I'm the fucking man. I can't be touched. You know what I mean? That was the image that I had out. The image that I had was that, man, I was arrogant. I was arrogant. But the reality, my arrogance was masking my insecurity. Let me say that again. My arrogance, my pseudo arrogance, because it wasn't real arrogance. It was a mask to cover up the fact that I really didn't like me. It was a mask to cover up the fact that I had a lot of issues. It was a mask to cover up my insecurities about my manhood. You know what I mean? Because again, being molested by dudes at an early age, man, I was trying to find my identity. And so I'm sleeping with all these different women. Man, and they're loving it, so I'm loving it. It's like, oh, I'm the shit. And I was so twisted, I actually believed that was my God-given purpose. I was doing what God wanted me to do by sleeping with all these women, because in my mind, God wanted everybody to have love. God wanted everybody to experience love, and that was my purpose. That's how twisted I was. I thought that me sleeping with all these women was me giving all these women love and making them feel good about themselves. And so I was doing God's work. I grew up in the church, and that's totally against what I was doing as a young man. But in my twisted thought process, I thought I was doing God's work by making all these women happy. I thought I was doing God's work by making love to all these women. I wasn't making love to them. I was just having sex with them. You know what I mean? But in my mind, sex was love. Love was sex. They went hand in hand. And they don't have anything to do with each other. And so many of us, we have this misconception of what love is. We don't know what love is. We have no clue what love is because we grew up in toxic families where you didn't really get love. You know, you got beaten and you was told that that was love. I'm beating you because I love you. Hell, if you love me, you wouldn't be beating my fucking ass like this. If you love me, you wouldn't be leaving whelps on me like this. You know what I mean? We got beat to where you could see the whelps, and sometimes you could see the blood coming out of the whelps. And now, again, this was in the 70s. And I remember putting a sticker up on my door, my room door, child abuse, 1-800 something. And my aunt was like, you got to make it to home. You know, and I was like, this B, you know what I mean? And she meant that. She meant that. And back then, that was her way of showing love by beating the snot out of us. Today, you look at that as, man, that wasn't love at all. That was freaking abuse. It was abuse back then, but they labeled it as love. And so many of us, we grew up in that type of environment, you know, where we had people drunk and our parents drunk and they're doing all this other stuff. And they're saying this is love. And that has nothing to do with love. And so we don't grow up in a healthy environment. And so we have no idea of what real love is. And so we go to school and we hook up with all these dudes, hook up with all these girls, have friends and all this other stuff. And we think, man, we're learning about love. And they're from broken families and twisted families. And sometimes their broken family and twisted family is worse than mine. You know what I mean? And so they're sitting there trying to tell me, and it's like I listen to all these young people now, and they're up there talking about they just going in all the stuff that they think they know, and it's like they're so clueless. You know, not all of them, but just a lot of them. They're just completely clueless, and it just comes from experience, lack of really education and studying. You know what I mean? And just, man, hopefully they'll get it in time. But they sit there and they talk like they know, and it just reminds me, man, I remember when I was a kid that age. And we're sitting there talking to each other. I keep looking over at the water because I keep seeing turtles and stuff pop up in the pond, and I like that. And so, but we're sitting there, you're talking back and forth to your friends, and you sound so legit. You sound so convincing, like you know what you're talking about. And that's what we do. We convince the whole world that we know what love is. We go into relationships convincing the other person that I love you, trying to convince the other person that, man, I'm the man for you. I'm the woman for you. I'll be your boo. I'll be whatever you need me to be, blah, 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 blah. And the reality is, I don't know how to love you. You don't know how to love me. Let's be honest with ourselves. But we can't because we're so caught up in the expectations of everybody, you know what I mean? We're so caught up in our sexual lust. We're so caught up in our emotions and our feelings. Man, we're looking for love. And man, if you say you love me, cool, that's what I need. That's what I want. I want somebody to love me. Why? Because in reality, a lot of times I'm looking for somebody to show me how to love me. And I sit there and I listen to a lot of women. And women talk more to me about their relationships than guys do. And a lot of these women go into relationships, and they come from families where their father's not been an active participant in their life for whatever reason. And so they go into these relationships looking for this guy to teach them how they're supposed to be loved. All the stuff that they should have got from their father. You know what I mean? All the stuff that they should have got as a kid, they never got. You know what I mean? And so now they go into these relationships looking and expecting this guy to teach them this stuff. And he doesn't know because he's from a broken family. He didn't have a father figure in his life. His mother was abusive verbally, emotionally, physically, and everything else. You know what I mean? And so he can't teach her what he don't know. And so you look at, man, the domino effect of all this. Man, you look at today. Man, everybody's having surgery. Not everybody. There's so many people getting surgeries, you know, because they don't love them. They don't value them. They don't accept themselves for who they are, for how they are. You know what I mean? I remember my kids, younger kids, I'm stepping on something. My younger kid's mom had she worked as a nurse on the med surg floor. And there was this young lady, beautiful young lady in her 20s, had 10, 12 different surgeries to make her look better. She was already beautiful, but she had all these plastic surgeries to make herself look better for whatever reason. And some guy proposed to her. They were going to get married. She wanted to have one more surgery, had the surgery, had complications from that surgery, died a week later. And I remember my wife coming home, and she was kind of shook by that. And I was talking to her about it. It's like, man, that's just the vanity of life. That, you know what I mean? That's just our ego. That's just how vain we really are. That's how twisted we really are. We really don't love ourselves, family. And it's sad that this young lady would spend so much money trying to look perfect because for whatever reason, she couldn't accept herself for how she looked. No matter how much money she spent, it wasn't enough. She had to have more, had to have more, had to have more. Finally found the man of her dreams. And man, she wanted to be perfect for him. And so she had one more procedure and it cost her life. And I was talking to my queen last night. She was telling me about, again, in Dominican Republic, how so many Americans are going to Dominican Republic to have different procedures done, whether it's butt implants, chest implants, whatever, you know what I mean? Because it's cheaper financially over there than to get it done here in the States. And just the complications and how some people die from the procedures. They never make it back. And it's a trip, family, because you know what? It's sad. You know, it's sad that we could be so lost and hate ourselves so much that we'll go do anything and everything like this to make ourselves look better. And the reality is we really don't like ourselves. The reality is we really don't love ourselves. Because no matter how much you spend on your money to look perfect as you think, man, if a guy's going to cheat on you, man, it don't matter what you look like. He's going to cheat on you. You know what I mean? It don't matter if the woman's going to cheat on you. Brothers, it don't matter what you look like. It don't matter how big you are. It don't matter how much money you got. You know what I mean? It don't matter how nice you treat her. None of that stuff matters. If they're going to cheat and dog you out, they're going to cheat and dog you out regardless. You know what I mean? And so you get all this money and are having all this money and taking it and having all these implants and all this other stuff to get this right dude and get somebody to love you and value you and woo-doo-doo. Man, they're still going to cheat on you. They're still going to dog you out regardless. Why? Because you're on that frequency. You're on that low vibrating frequency that you're attracting that type of people. That's why you're having all those procedures done. It would be different if you're having procedures done because it was life or health, life or death. You know what I mean? That's a different story. When you're going in and getting the butt implants and chest implants and all that has nothing to do with life or death. Man, for the majority, that's all vanity. That's all ego. That's all ego. And again, to each their own. You know what I mean? Do you? You know what I mean? Do you? But understand, do you really love yourself? Do you really love yourself? You can't love yourself if you're constantly tearing yourself down. You can't love yourself if you're constantly criticizing how your breasts look. You can't love yourself if you're constantly criticizing how your butt looks or your legs look or your arms look or your stomach look. You can't love yourself if you're constantly tearing yourself down. And I don't care what you say. You could get up every morning. And I know Mary J got a new song out, Good Morning Gorgeous, or something like that to that effect. And this is a nice song, you know what I mean? But if you don't really believe that, you can say that to yourself a million times. It don't matter. It don't matter. Why? Because you got to understand, you got to learn to accept you. You got to learn to understand that, man, there's some things about me that maybe I wish was different, but man, you know what? It is what it is. I used to want to be 6'4", at least 6'4". I'm 5'11". Man, I got the short man complex. There's a lot of people shorter than I am. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, man, family, accept what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Stop tripping off that stuff. If you got a body, every one of us has a body, but if you don't like the way your body look, man, family, what can you do about it without spending money and going and having surgery? If you loved yourself, man, you would eat right. If you loved yourself, you would exercise. And that has nothing to do with build your body up. That's simply because, you know, man, that's energy that I'm putting into my body. We talk about frequencies and energy all the time. What frequency are you on? You know what I mean? And when you look at bodybuilders and people that's really about that life, and I'm not talking about people that's shooting up with steroids. You know what I mean? There's a whole lot of these guys that are been shooting up with steroids. They're dying early, dying in their 40s, dying in their 50s. You know what I mean? Because of all that poison that they don't put in their body. That's not self-love. That's vanity. That's ego. And it's cost them their life. When you love yourself, man, you're going to do what you got to do. You're going to put the work in. When you love yourself, you're going to put the work in. Understanding, man, it takes time. It takes time. Women, if you want a curved butt or whatever it is, man, get up and do some squats every day. That's not hard. You don't have to go to the gym to get in shape. You can sit there and do that in your own freaking bedroom. You could do some freaking push-ups to tighten up your chest, to tighten up your arms, to tighten up your back. There's a lot of stuff that you could do that if you loved yourself, you would do. You would change your eating habits. You wouldn't eat a whole bunch of junk and then be mad at yourself because you got a pouch. Then be mad at yourself and talk about, man, look at my stomach. Man, I got this belly and whoop and all this other stupid stuff. You're tearing yourself down. Why are you tearing yourself down? Because you don't like you. Why are you tearing yourself down? Because you don't really value you. You don't accept you for who you are. And then some of us, we get this twisted concept of, man, I love me. It's humid out here. I'm sweating man. And then some of us get this twisted concept of, man, I love me. And man, you just got to accept me the way I am. And man, if I cuss you out, if I hit you, if I do whatever I do, man, it's just, I got anger issues. Man, we ain't got to accept that shit. And what I mean by that, man, I accept the fact that you have no self-control. I accept the fact that you have no self-respect. And so this is how you're going to act. And because I accept that about you, I'm not going to deal with you. End the conversation. I'm not going to be in no relationship with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. You have to learn, family, that, man, you have to start valuing you. You have to start loving you. And again, it don't matter what you say. If you sit there and tell everybody, man, I'm the shit and I'm the best thing that motherfucker had and I don't know why he cheated on me. I don't know why he did this and I don't know why he did that and blah, 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 blah. Man, okay, move on. Why can't you let that go? You can't let that go because the reality is you really don't value you. You really don't like you. Because if you liked you, you would stop thinking about that poison over and over and over and over. You would stop thinking about all that toxic crap over and over and over. You can't control that. You can't control what happened to you in the past. I can't control the fact that I was molested at 6 years old. I can't change the fact that my father murdered my mom. You know what I mean? I can't change the fact that I was physically beat as a kid. I can't change the fact that I was emotionally beat down and all this other crap as a kid. I can't change that crap. But if I keep thinking about that crap over and over and over and over and over, man, I'm doing so because I really don't love me. That's all poison. That's all toxic crap. Why would I keep putting toxicity into my body if I say I love me? If I say I love me, then why am I thinking and dwelling on negative crap? If I say I love me, then why am I sitting there and dwelling on all this crap that's happened all these years ago and never letting it go? How do you learn to let that go? First and foremost, you have to learn that it serves you no good anymore. Learn the lesson from that experience. Learn the lesson from that experience and then let it go. It's like when you eat food. You don't eat food, go shit or go piss and then go get that piss or get that crap and put it back on your plate and eat it again or drink it again. You don't do that. Why? Because that's waste. It served its purpose and it's gone. All these experiences, man, they serve their purpose. They're gone. Stop picking the crap back up. Stop picking. You can't get nothing else out of that. All you could do is learn the lesson from it. Okay, man, what can I learn from being molested? What can I learn from my father? Oh, I don't like how my father got down. So that means I need to make different decisions. I don't know why he made those choices. I'm not here to judge him, but man, I need to make different decisions. If I want the same results as my father, then I need to do the same thing he did. If I want different results, then I need to do something different. Same thing in life. You know what I mean? Man, we have to grow up and start accepting responsibility for our lives. We have to stop blaming everybody else. We have to stop being a victim. And that's a hard thing for us to do because so many of us, we grew up in that victim mentality and that's all we know. And so everything is all about, man, look at how I'm a victim. Man, the government's dogging me out. These people on my job getting on my case. My kids are disrespectful. My husband disrespectful. My mama won't act right. My daddy don't act right. We got all these things going on in our head of how everybody's disrespecting, how everybody's treating us so foul. And we're just a victim. And that's all we're ever going to be, living in that mindset. And that's because you really don't love you. If you loved you, you would not be a victim. If you loved you, you wouldn't have that victim mentality. Most of us would slap the dog mess out of somebody if they came up and tried to put some poison in us. We would defend ourselves to the bitter end. Ain't no way in the world I'm letting you just fill me up with poison. Why? Because I know that's going to kill me. So no matter what happens, whether I could beat you up or whether I could stop you from doing it, I'm going to fight to the end anyways. Why? Because I'm going to die regardless, you know what I mean? But I'm going to go out my way. And maybe I could beat you up and stop you from poisoning me. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to just sit there and just like, okay, well, go ahead and poison me. Go ahead and poison me. No, none of us is going to do that. But yet that's what we do when it comes to our emotions. Yet that's what we do when it comes to our thought process. Yet that's what we do when it comes to our intellect. We don't know how to think for ourselves because we've been programmed as little kids. This is what you're supposed to think. This is how you're supposed to feel. And so we grew up believing this crap. And we keep doing the same psychotic stuff over and over and over and over again, expecting different results. So many of us, I talk to so many people in their 30s and 40s and 50s, and we're still dealing with our past, our childhood past. You know what I mean? The crap from our past, from our childhood. And it's like, how the hell do we live this long holding on to all this toxic crap? How do you live this long just holding on to this crap? You know what I mean? How do you live this long just regurgitating the same shit every fucking day? Because that's all you're doing. Emotionally, you're just regurgitating the same toxic shit over and over and over again. Then you get on TV and you turn on the news and they're talking about the same bullshit over and over and over and over again. And then you turn on social media and they're talking about the same toxic bullshit too, over and over and over again. You're being fucking poisoned and you're allowing it to happen. You're giving yourself up as a tool, here, just kill me. Just kill me. I don't even care no more. You don't even have fight left in you anymore. You're a willing participant in your own fucking suicide and your own fucking demise. But then you want to talk about how you're a king, you're a queen, you're a boss, you're a child of God, and you're fucking committing suicide. You're a child of God, and you're fucking killing yourself. Emotionally, intellectually, and physically. Because you don't love you. You don't know how to value you. And so, man, family, we got to get it together. You know what I mean? We have to get it together. And I know that everybody's like, man, well, tell me how to do it. How do I do this? How do I do it? Man, we all have different issues. We all have different issues. You know what I mean? And so I can't just get on here and say, okay, well, just do this right here and that'll solve everybody's problems, because this right here, depending on what your problem is, you know what I mean? But the reality is every one of us have to learn how to shift our thinking. How to shift our thinking. And what do I mean, how to shift our thinking? You knew that as a kid, you didn't like the way that crap made you feel. When they were abusive to you, when they're putting you down, when they're calling you fat, when they're calling you ugly, when they're calling you blacky, when they're calling you skinny, when they're calling you buckwheat, when they're calling you spanky, and all these other stupid names that they give. You know what I mean? We knew that shit didn't make us feel good then. You know what I mean? And so now we grow up and we still doing the exact same shit. We're still listening to the same toxic bullshit. We're still entertaining the same toxic bullshit. If I know that you don't mean me any good, man, I'm cutting off our conversation. I'm cutting it off. You know what I mean? In the conversation, man, it is what it is. I don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your title is. You're not serving my greater good. You're not helping in my growth and development. You're not helping in my healing. And what I mean by that is because it's nobody else's responsibility for you to heal. It's nobody else's responsibility for you to grow up. That's nobody's that's your responsibility. What I mean by they're not helping you, if all they're bringing you is drama and crap and bullshit, and they're making you feel bad about you and what you man, cut they fucking ass off. Cut them off. You give me 15 feet. You know what I mean? Put their ass on fucking restriction for a while, for 6 months, until you deal with some shit, until you come back and like maybe you're stronger emotionally, mentally to be able to deal with their ass. Put their ass on fucking timeout. I love you, family, but man, leave me the fuck alone. Don't call me unless it's a fucking emergency. And when I say emergency, it's not because JoJo went to fucking jail for the 15th fucking time. It's not because Mary Jane got pregnant for the 7th time from 7 different dudes. That's not no fucking emergency to me. That's her fucking life. She got to deal with the shit. That's his fucking life. He got to deal with that shit. You know what I mean? That's not no fucking emergency. Learn to cut people off. You don't have to entertain and listen to all their fucking bullshit. And so many of us, man, we talk about we want to be each other's friend and we love each other and all this other stuff. And again, we don't understand what love is. Because if you love that person and that person's constantly coming back to you talking about, man, I got a problem and man, I need help and man, I can't do this and I can't do this. And they ain't getting their problem fixed. They ain't trying to resolve their fucking shit. They're fucking drug addict or whatever the case may be. And we look at drugs. That's a great example. You can't save somebody strung out on dope. You can't save them. You can't rescue them. They have to rescue themselves. They have to save themselves. No matter what you do, it's not going to be enough. They have to come to the understanding. They have to have that enlightenment moment of, man, I'm sick and tired of this shit. I can't do this no more. And unfortunately, for the great majority of them, it's after they burnt the great majority of all their fucking bridges. After they've stole from their family, they dogged out their family, they've done time in the prison, in jail, homeless, or whatever the case may be, lost their kids, lost their relationships, lost their jobs, all that other stuff, right? They had to go through the price of getting to that point of like, okay, I'm done with this shit. I can't do this no more. You know what I mean? And that's what we have to do with these people. And I'm not talking about drug addicts. I'm talking about these toxic, negative ass people that keep coming to you with their fucking bullshit. And they don't want to change their fucking life. They don't want to fucking grow up. Stop wasting your time, investing your time and energy, listening to their woe is me fucking sad story. Stop entertaining their fucking bullshit. Stop letting them dump their fucking crap on your fucking yard. And then they walk away all happy and you sitting there like, what the fuck? Man, I feel so fucking depressed now. Man, I don't want to work out. I don't want to go outside. I don't want to do anything. What the fuck? Because you just sat there and let this motherfucker on the telephone dump all their fucking bullshit on you for the 45th time. 40th, I can't even talk. On the 45th time. You know what I mean? They're constantly calling you. And man, you're the only person I could talk to. Because everybody else done cut your ass off. Ain't nobody else trying to hear this bullshit no more. You keep making these dumbass fucking decisions. Stop making these fucking dumbass decisions. When you stop making these dumbass decisions, then we could talk. But as long as you keep jumping in bed with every Tom, Dick, and Harry and talking about, well, this is the one, this is my soulmate, this is my twin flame, and woo-doo-doo, and then you get pissed off because he dogged you out and he don't want shit to do with you, and you come back crying to me, and you met his ass at a fucking bar when you're both fucking drunk, when you're both slamming dope, and you think this is the one for you. You do this, and your history is you've done this 25 different times. When the fuck you gonna get your shit together? This is how you want to get down. This is how you want to live. So be it. But I don't want to hear this shit no more. Don't come crying to me about, man, I shouldn't have got drunk last night. Man, I shouldn't have slammed dope last night. Man, I shouldn't have went out with that girl. Man, ain't nobody got to hear all that bullshit no more. When you love you, you set up these healthy boundaries. And these people that are used to crossing those boundaries are going to get pissed. They're going to feel like they're being victimized. They're going to feel violated. Why? Because they're so used to just coming and kicking open your fucking door. And the truth is, they ain't even got to kick open the door. Your ass open the door and just let them in the house. You just let them walk in the house and shit on your living room floor and then walk right back out. And you pissed because you got to clean this shit up. You pissed because you got to deal with this shit now. But you keep letting their ass in your fucking house. Stop allowing these people access to your emotions. Stop allowing the people access to you. Stop being a fucking dump ground. And the reality, that's why we don't love ourselves, because we're fucking toxic. We are a fucking dump site. We're a fucking dump yard. Full of all of our shit and everybody else's shit. Because we want to sit there and entertain the fucking news and see what's going on in the news 24/7. Then we want to get all over social media and listen to all these other people's bullshit and all this other fucking crap. Now we got on the fucking radio and we listen to all this fucking poison coming off the radio. Now I'm listening to Betty Jean call me and crying about her fucking raggedy ass kids not respecting her. Now I gotta listen to Matthew over here talking about how his wife don't love him and she keep cheating on him. Now I gotta listen to Betty over here, sit here and talk about her man cheating on her and all. Man, we ain't got time for that bullshit. You shouldn't have time for that bullshit. When you love you cutting all that shit. Man, I ain't got time for this shit. You married him, deal with it. If you don't want to deal with it, cut his fucking ass off. If you don't want to deal with her, cut her fucking ass off. But stop coming to me with this fucking bullshit. And you can't get mad at them for coming to you with the bullshit because you keep letting them come to you. Cut they ass the fuck off. Take some time out and understand that, man, I got my own fucking issues. I got to deal with liking me. I can't save your fucking problems because I'm over here fucking drowning in my own shit. I'm trying to help you and I'm drowning in my own fucking anxiety and my own fucking insecurities and my own fucking issues and childhood traumas. And so often we as empaths and people that feel other people's energy, man, we drown in other people's bullshit all around while drowning in our shit. I love swimming. Love swimming. One of the first things that you learn as a swimmer is that, man, when somebody's drowning, don't jump in the fucking water to go get their ass. You throw something out there. You throw a rope out there. You throw something out there, inner tube, something out there for them to grab hold on and pull their asses in. Do not jump in the fucking water trying to rescue people. And that's what we do. Man, we Captain fucking Save a Hole. Man, here I am to save the day. Man, and we're trying to solve everybody's fucking problems. And then we go home and we're sitting there like, fuck, just fucking kill me already. Fuck, I need a goddamn drink. Fuck, what the fuck is wrong with the world? Ain't nothing wrong with the world. Ain't nothing wrong with humanity. You gotta stop being fucking Captain Save a Hole. Learn to cut the fucking people off and deal with your own fucking issues. And so many of us, we think we're so fucking woke. We think we're so fucking helpful. We're trying to save everybody else. And that's a fucking excuse for us not to deal with our own shit. That's a distraction to us so that we don't have to deal with our shit. Because I don't like me and I got my own issues. And instead of me working on my shit, man, I'm gonna focus on this shit. Instead of me dealing with my childhood trauma and all the shit that I've gone through, man, I'm gonna help these people over here. Why? Because I want to deal with my shit. My shit hurt. So fuck that shit. Let me deal with these people and they shit right here. Let me tell these motherfuckers how to be. Man, let me try to advise these motherfuckers over here. And we doing all this bullshit. Trying to save everybody. And we ain't saving our fucking self. We ain't saving nobody, including ourselves. You've heard me say this plenty of times in the past. I believe we're going to change the world. One person, one heart, one mind at a time. But that has to start with us. That has to start on the individual basis. That has to start with you. That has to start with me. I can't get on YouTube and talk all this shit and telling everybody whoop. And man, I'm fucking sitting over here getting ready to shoot up and slam dope and chase hoes and do all this other stupid shit because I got unresolved fucking issues. I ain't dealt with my daddy. I ain't dealt with my molestation. I ain't dealt with my mama being murdered. I ain't dealt with all this shit. And now I want to get up on social media and just talk all this bullshit. And that's what so many people do. That's what so many people do. Because they think they're helping humanity. They think they're doing a good thing. I'm helping all these people. No, you're not. If you want to help them, you would fix your fucking shit first. If you want to help them, if you want to be a beacon of hope and love and light to them, you would resolve your shit first. And then you would just let your fucking light shine. The problem is, we don't love ourselves. We don't know how to love ourselves. We don't think that we're worthy of love. We don't. Because we grew up in families and situations where we didn't experience love. Love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't hurt at all. At all. And so because we grew up in these toxic situations, we don't understand what love is. And so our family has told us, man, being selfish that's not godly. Being selfish, that's like the worst thing you could be. No, the fuck it ain't. Sometimes you have to be selfish. And man, I ain't got time for this bullshit today. I'm taking my ass home. Leave me the fuck alone, because I got some shit I need to deal with. I can't listen to you today. I'm not entertaining your bullshit today. I'm not dealing with your fucking drama today. I'm not dealing with your fucking baby issues either today. I'm dealing with me. I'm dealing with me. And some of you, I'm just gonna keep it real. Some of you are parents, and you need to cut your fucking kids off and stop enabling they fucking ass and stop babysitting for them all the fucking time and make they fucking ass grow the fuck up. I know you mama, I know you granny, whatever you G-ma, whatever the fuck you go by. You know what I mean? Grow the fuck up and make them kids grow the fuck up. Make them grow up. If they would pay somebody else to babysit your kids, then how come the fuck they can't pay you? Oh no, you want me to babysit? Oh no, you call me at a decent motherfucking time. You gonna make some fucking arrangements. We gonna make some arrangements if you want me watching your fucking kids. And this ain't no all the fucking time thing, because I got a fucking life. I got shit I need to do. And just because you didn't plan your shit right, man, that's not my fucking problem. Grow the fuck up. Learn how to manage your shit. We gotta stop enabling people, family. And we don't realize how we're fucking up the next generations by doing the shit we're doing. We're making them the way that we're creating these fucking monsters. That's what we're doing. We're creating monsters in this next generation. Love, man. Tough love, that's just love. We call it tough love because we don't really, man, that's kind of harsh, but it's fucking real. I remember my oldest son, 18 years old, but he was still in school. And I told him, I said, John, I had my little son with me at the time. I said, John, dude, don't come home late. I know you think you're grown, but it's my fucking house. You know what I mean? I got my son here. I got my stepsons here. Me and my late wife was married at the time. You can't come up in here 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning thinking that everything's fucking cool. You know what I mean? You ain't coming in here at no 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. If you ain't here by 10 o'clock, man, you fucking assed out. Don't come up in here fucking high and drunk, because that's not the image that I'm giving my fucking kids. You know what I mean? You the oldest out of all the boys here. It was 4 other boys there. I'm not allowing you to show them this shit. You can't come up in here drunk and high and laughing and giggling and all this other bullshit, and they thinking, oh, that's cool because, you know, John's doing it and I want to grow up and be like John and I'm going to do that shit too. No, you can't do that shit with me. And so I told him, don't come up in here like this, man. Don't bring this fucking shit up in the house. I don't smoke weed. Man, don't bring this shit up in the house. This motherfucker thought I was bullshit. Came home one night, one morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. It was cold as fuck. Elisha, my younger son at the time, went to open the door for him. I said, you open that door, I'm putting your ass out too. And he was crying. He was like, but that's my brother. I said, yeah, that's my son. He was my son before he was your brother. I said, don't open that door. He went to take his ass out there to that party. He wanted to fucking hang out. Let him take his ass right back to where he came from. And that broke my heart. Stay with me, that broke my heart. That was hard for me to do because that was my firstborn son. But I had to show him, like, look, dude, you can't do this shit with me. You can't do this shit here. I love you. But if you can't obey the rules here and I'm only looking out for your best interest, man, that means that you and I can't coexist. That means that you too grown to do what I say. That means you need to take care of your own fucking self. You need to pay your own fucking way. He was like, Dad, come on, Dad, stop playing. I said, dude, I'm not playing with you. Take your ass back or you can't live here no more. You cannot live here anymore. I love you, but you can't live here no more. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. And people are like, man, that's fucking hard. That's fucking rough. I would never do that to my kid. And man, do you? I don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? But one thing that my kids won't say, and one thing that my kids won't ever be able to say, like, damn, they'll say, man, dad was rough. Dad was hard. Dad was he was about that life, you know what I mean? When he said the rules, man, he meant that shit. Dad wasn't wavering on shit. You wasn't doing no bullshit around dad. Man, their mama, they do all kind of other shit with her. You know what I mean? They do all kind of shit with their mama. Man, they got girlfriends living with them and all kind of bullshit they couldn't do with me. But then they're like, Dad, you just love so hard. No, it has nothing to do with loving hard. It's about raising you right and establishing some fucking boundaries. It's about establishing healthy boundaries and teaching you to value yourself and to respect your fucking self. And if you can't do that, okay, then go do what the fuck you want to do. Stop taking in all that poison. Stop listening to all that poison. It's not doing your growth and development any good. It's not helping you on your journey. You're going to have to cut that shit out. You're going to have to cut those people off. It is what it is. Get over it. And whatever issues you got that's making you feel insecure, that's making you feel like, man, I don't really feel like I'm deserving of love, whatever it is, I feel like I'm not deserving of a king, of a queen, somebody valuing me, somebody respecting me, because I see so many women, these little guys just run all over them. And it's like, what is wrong? What makes you feel that you deserve to be called a bitch? What makes you feel like you deserve for him to just treat you any kind of way? What makes you feel like he could just do whatever the fuck he want to do, and you're paying for the rent, and you're paying for the fucking groceries and everything, and he's just doing whatever the fuck he want to do, taking your car and doing whatever the fuck he want to do? What is it about you that makes you think that's okay? You do that not because you think it's okay. You do that because you don't love you. You do that because you don't think that you deserve any better. Because if you thought you deserved better, you would cut that shit off. Family, we have to learn to start liking us. We have to learn to start valuing us. There's nothing wrong with being alone. There's nothing wrong with being alone. I was a single parent of two, my two older kids, for almost 8 years. There's nothing wrong with being single and working on you. Just because you're single, it doesn't mean that you're not lovable. Just because you're single as a single parent doesn't mean that you're not worthy of having a queen. It doesn't mean you're not worthy of having a king. It says that I love me and I love my kids so much that instead of me jumping in another relationship with somebody else, I'm going to fix me. I'm going to get me right. I'm going to get me right this time. And so when I get in my next relationship, man, I won't be the toxic one, and I won't be hooking up with anybody toxic, because I won't be on that vibration or that frequency attracting somebody else that's toxic. So in order for me to raise up and go to the next level, in order for me to attract the type of person that I want, I got to become the type of person that I want. I'm going to say it again. If you want a king, if you want a queen, you have to become king material. You have to become queen material. Take this time. Write down everything that's ever happened to you that you feel has hurt you, that you feel has messed you up, that you feel has you feeling some kind of way about yourself. I don't care how important it is, how little it is, man, just write it all down. Write it down. After you write it all down, take that shit over the sink. Take a lighter and burn that bitch up. Burn that bitch up. Ball it up, whatever you want to do. Take it to the toilet, ball that shit up, tear it up, and flush it down the toilet. And as you're balling it up, as you're tearing it up, as you're burning it up, this is what this is what I've said to me. You know what I mean? This is what's helped me, and this is what I've used with other kids and other young adults. Man, I release I release. I, Elijah, release all the negative energy that I have attached to my father for murdering my mom right in front of me. I release all the negative energy that I have attached to my mom dying and screaming and me feeling vulnerable and helpless, me feeling voiceless. I release all the negative energy attached to those people who sexually molested me and how that had me twisted in my sexual identity. I release all of the emotional abuse that I endured at the hands of those quote unquote people that loved me, or whatever family member it was. I release all of that energy. I release the attachment to all of that bullshit that makes me feel like I'm not good enough. I release the attachment to the energy and to that frequency that makes me feel like I suck, like I'm a failure, like I'm cursed, like I'm ugly, like I'm fat, and I'm never gonna be a success. I'm never gonna do what I came to do. I release that energy. And after you burn all that shit up, whatever it is that you write down, read it out, burn that shit up. Tear it up, flush it down totally. And then, in its place, I had put, in the place of my father murdering my mom, I fill that space with love. Love for my father. Forgiveness for my father. Understanding that my father's not perfect just like I'm not perfect. Understanding my father got issues just like I had issues. Understanding my father is going through some stuff just like I go through stuff. I take all of the hatred, all of the anger, all the rage, all the bitterness, and all the animosity, all of the murdering thoughts that I had attached to my father, and I release them. And in their place, I put love. In their place, I put understanding. In their place, I put compassion. In their place, I put acceptance. Let me tell you guys something. And this was like profound for me. As long as I hated my dad, as long as I wanted to kill my dad, as long as I was angry at my dad, I couldn't accept me. I hated me. I hated me. We have to understand, man, my father and I are one. When I see my dad, I see me. When I see me, I see my dad. That's the connection that every one of us have. And so if you have hate towards somebody else, man, understand that you hate yourself. When you don't accept certain aspects about other people and you're constantly judging them and criticizing them and putting them down, there are certain aspects about you that you're doing the exact same thing. And so in order for you to love you, in order for you to accept you, in order for you to value you, you have to do that towards all these other people who've caused you pain. In order for you to forgive you, you have to forgive them. You have to forgive them. You can't just go into the world like, well, I'm gonna cut everybody off and not deal with my shit. You know what I mean? And not forgive them. See, because here's the trick. As long as you have to feel like you have to forgive somebody, there's judgment there. Stay with me. My father died almost 4 years ago. And I was like 48 years old at the time that he died. And he never once said that he never once apologized. Never once. At 48 was the first time he ever told me that, man, I'm proud of you. I came to see him a few days before he died, a couple days before he died. And he told me he was proud of me. First time he ever told me that. He told me how much he loved me. He never apologized. I never asked him to apologize. I had already forgiven him. I didn't need his apology. Understand something, family. As long as you need somebody else's apology, you completely missed it. As long as you're looking for their apology, you haven't forgiven them. Because when you can forgive somebody without them even asking you to forgive them. Forgiveness is not for them. Forgiveness is for you so that you can let go of all that issues, let go of all the fucking trauma and the drama and the baggage and that negative energy. You have to forgive them. I don't give a damn what they did. I don't give a fuck what they did to you. You have to forgive them. End the conversation. Understand, my father murdered my mom when I was 2, right in front of me. I don't give a fuck what you're going through. I don't give a damn who did what to you. You have to forgive them. And you have to release that negative energy attached to whatever it was that transpired. Whether you were sexually abused, whether you were physically abused, whether you were rejected, whether you were abandoned, whatever. You have to forgive them. You have to forgive them before you can release them. You have to forgive them before you can release that energy attached to the pain. As long as you hold on to that hate, as long as you hold on to, well, they never asked for forgiveness, you're holding on to that negative energy. You're holding on to that negative frequency. You're holding on to that toxin. You're holding on to that poison, and it's killing you. It's killing you. You have to forgive them. You have to forgive them. And here's the trick. When you learn to love people and accept them for who they are, you don't stand in judgment of them. And so I had to realize that, dang, my father's gone through some stuff too. I'm sure he did. That generation, they didn't talk about this shit at all. Man, I love my dad. I love my dad. I forgave him. Why? Not because he asked for it. Not because he was some good guy. I forgave him because I had to learn how to love me. And because I was learning how to love me, I was tired of holding on to all of that negative energy. I could not continue to hold on to all of that negative energy and love me at the same time. And so I had to make a choice. Either I could hold on to the bitterness, I could hold on to this fucking victim mentality, or I could walk and live in love. You can't do both. You cannot be a beacon of hope, a beacon of love, and be wrapped in bitterness and anger and resentment and hatred and unforgiveness. You have to release one or the other. If you love you, you'll let go of all that negative shit. If you love you, you'll let go of all that crap. If you hate you, you'll continue to hold on to all that crap. You'll continue to poison yourself. You'll continue to kill yourself from the inside out. You'll continue to stunt your own growth and development. You'll continue to stop reaching your full potential or prohibiting yourself from being able to reach your full potential because you're making a decision to hold on to this bitterness, to hold on to this animosity, to hold on to this anger, this resentment, and this victim mentality. In order for you to reach your full potential, in order for you to be all that you came here to be, you have to make a choice. Either it's going to be love or it's going to be all this other bullshit. It's going to be love or this crap. It can't be both. It can't be both. Man, family, my hope and prayer is that you start loving you, that you find yourself worthy of love, worthy of forgiveness, that you see yourself as beautiful inside and out. I don't care how you look physically, that you find yourself beautiful inside and out. Because as long as there's something about you that you don't like, As long as there's something about you that you're constantly tearing down and minimizing, you keep giving the door for self-hate. You keep leaving the door open, and you keep staying attached to that self-hate mentality. It's all good. It's all good. I love you guys. Man, happy healing. Thank you for being with me on this journey. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I bless you. Namaste. Peace.